I think we're live, Wendy.
Hello.
Hello, world. This is the fabulous Wendy Page. There she is in all her glory. And she came and joined me on this record to sing Who's Saving You Tonight, which was awesome. And let's just back up a little. I was trying to think, when did I first meet you?
Oh, wow. I think we met you in London, didn't we?
No.
No?
I'm just trying to think of what year it was, but we wrote, so Jim Velutato, what was the hit maker's name that worked for Sony Publishing in LA?
We wrote Should You Decide. That was our first song with you.
No, there was another one before that. You and Jim were living in an apartment, and we wrote I Can't Breathe.
The Oakwoods.
Yeah. So it was back then. Was it like 2000 that we met?
It would be 2003.
Right.
Before we found our house. Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. Kind of.
And what was the song?
One of them, the first one I remember was I Can't Breathe.
Oh yes, that's it. I
Can't breathe. Which was great because we started writing that, and you said the first lyric that you came up with was, I could compare you to a summer's day, but didn't someone do that in a better way? I was like, she's rejigging Shakespeare.
There was Shakespeare.
Yeah.
I like having him near. I'm going to put him there. Yeah.
Yeah, I always thought that was genius. And then we went on to write a whole bunch of stuff. So we wrote, what did we write? We wrote Thinking About You, which was on that record.
Yeah.
And then we wrote Idle Observation number 95, which was on that record.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And then we wrote Edge of the World and Mercy on that record. And there was another one, Should You Decide, was on another record.
Yeah.
And the Birds record, Who's Saving You, I think we wrote that in like 2005 or something or other.
Yes, 2000. Actually, I think that might have been on our last couple of sessions where we wrote 4 songs in a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was quite good. That was a slamming day, that was. And one of the songs was Clear as Crystal. Do you remember that one? Nothing's as clear as crystal.
I do remember that one.
Didn't make that one that didn't make it onto any of your records.
No, it didn't. It should have. I think that was destined for more of a country artist than me, but that was fun. So we met 2003. And then we've written a lot over the years. Yeah. So just let's back up a little bit. How did you end up in LA? Because you're not from LA.
No, I'm not. No. Well, how far do you want to go back? Yeah, we moved to LA in 2003 after having sort of done quite a lot of music together in London. And we just wanted to have a change and work with more guitar bands.
Right.
Yeah. But actually, I went over there to do my record and sort of fell in love with it. I fell in love with the city and thought, I want to live here. So
cool. You know. So you've had all kinds of hits. You've written songs for Billy Piper, Hilary Duff, there's 5. I printed out 5 pages that I found on the internet of songs you've had recorded. You've done, you've had hits with Australian Idol winners, German Idol winners, Jennifer Lewis. Who else have you had? Petula Clark.
Yeah, Lulu. We wrote a song for Lulu. That was great fun. With Lulu, actually. That was a lot of fun.
Vanessa May. Just the list just goes on. Human Nature, Australians would know. So, yeah, it's quite an impressive track record you have there.
Yeah, yeah, we were very busy.
Yeah, sure were.
Yeah, we were. We had a studio. In fact, most of the house was the studio, and yeah, we had a lot of traffic coming through there.
Right.
But it was a very exciting time because I was doing a lot of drum and bass and dance stuff. I was singing with a guy called Gerald, an act called Talvin Singh, and Tintin Out, and they were all kind of having, you know, dance hits in various shapes and forms. And I was doing a lot of touring, so that was fun. In between the songwriting. But, yeah.
So you mentioned that you went to LA to make a record. You did that. That was with Don Was.
With Don, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what happened with that? How did you get that record deal, and then what happened with the record?
Well, there's a fantastic music person, Cheryl Robson, who was at East West Records, signed me. She knew me from way back, and she said, you know, I want to sign you. Let's make a record. And I thought, this is it. That's really exciting. We'd written a lot of stuff, and we had most of the songs written and ready. A lot of them in a very good shape, you know, as you do with the demo situation. Yeah. And she said, who do you want to work with? You know, and I thought, well, why not Don? And we flew over to meet him and had a bit of a wild weekend, which involved the Chateau Marmont and meeting various exciting people in LA, whose names I won't mention.
Oh, come on, because I think you told me once about meeting Keith Richards. Did you?
Oh, no, I didn't. I would have loved to have done that. No, I did play on my record. I did play Mick Jagger's Dobro, which Don had and swore me to secrecy that Mick would never find out.
Oh, okay.
Because he still doesn't know where that guitar is. That's where it is.
Right. Well, he's a subscriber to my YouTube channel, so he'll see that for sure.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm in trouble now. Yeah.
So you made the record with Don Was, which sounds like a lot of fun, and then
that's right. Well, I lived in the Summerland Suites in LA for about 3 months. And it was a really weird time because it was quite lonely.
Right.
Because Jim was in London and he was, you know, making records and stuff in London, and I was in LA. But it was also an amazing time because Don kind of took me under his wing, and he used to take me everywhere and say, "I'm producing a producer." That's what he was saying, which was quite funny. And actually, the first thing we actually did was he called me and he said, we can't start the record tomorrow because I have to go to Nashville. Okay. He said, I've got to go to Garth Brooks's 40th birthday party and I'd like you to come.
Wow.
I thought, all right, sounds like a laugh. So I checked with my A&R and that was all cool. So we flew out to Nashville and I met Garth, and he presented Don with a beautiful guitar for doing the Chris Gaines record.
Right.
And yeah, I remember standing in Garth's kitchen, and he had, I think, about 500 boxes of pizza in the kitchen, and there was like pizza. There was like walls of pizza everywhere, and Coke and stuff. And he just said, "I wish you every luck." Coca-Cola, right? Not the other stuff.
We don't get Garth in trouble. It is the South.
Yeah, but and so we got a tour of his house, and that was all very exciting. And yeah, he was nice. Great. Nice guy.
Fantastic.
But the best bit was when we went back to the hotel, the Hermitage.
Yep. In
town, and I think it was about 1 o'clock or something, and Don fixed the piano. It had a self-playing piano in the lobby, and he got underneath it and fiddled with it so it wouldn't play properly. That was really good.
He sabotaged the piano.
Yeah, I wonder if it's still there. Is the Hermitage still there in Nashville?
Yeah, it's still there. It has this incredible sort of Art Deco bathroom. The men's room in the in this kind of in the lobby of the Hermitage is this incredible Art Deco kind of situation, and people will actually just like walk into the Hermitage just to go to the bathroom, just to check it out. You know, men and women all
really
in the men's.
So women go into the men's room.
Yeah, just to check it out, just for the. It's like a tourist attraction.
Super. I'll have to try that next time.
Yeah, there you go. So the record never came out. What was?
No.
What happened?
No, the record never came out because towards the end of my time recording it there, the label, imploded.
Right.
And although they kept me on, some record company shenanigans happened, and it was all a bit sad, really. But I did actually end up owning the record, which actually I owned it since 2015, I think. So
all right.
I do actually own it now. But
you're going to put it out?
Maybe.
Oh, well, can you send it to me? I want to hear it.
I would love you to hear it, actually. I would love you to. It would be great to have a fresh set of ears hearing it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm proud of the record. I think it's a great record. Some fabulous people worked on it. Andrew Sheps, he mixed it, engineered on it. Dan Pinder. I had Larry Klein, who works a lot with Joni Mitchell. And he wrote a song with me, and he played bass on a couple of tracks. It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, it was just it was a great time making it. Yeah. Fantastic.
So were you I mean, you must have been sort of bummed that it didn't come out.
Oh yeah, I was brokenhearted. Yeah.
Right.
But you know, I came back to London, and I decided with Jim, you know, that we were going to move to LA and
now
have an adventure.
We keep talking about Jim, and you and
I
know
Jim.
Who
Jim
is,
sorry.
But the rest of the world doesn't know who Jim is. So you are married.
Jim?
You are married to the fabulous Jim Ma.
I am.
And you guys write a lot of songs together. In fact, you're almost, except when we send him out to get sandwiches, you're almost an exclusive kind of.
That's what we did, didn't we? We were idle observation when he'd gone out to get a Subway. That was really mean.
Yeah, just nick off and get us some sandwiches while we write this kind of ridiculously arty kind of song.
It's really cool. Yeah, well, he should be pleased about that, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've known Jim since I was 18. So
well, that's sort of the question I was going to ask. Like, how did you guys meet?
He walked into my room at university, and he put a sign up on the notice board in the union for a singer to join a band. And I got a bit merry with my friends the last day of the first term, and I put my room number in lipstick and completely forgot that I had done it. And he turned up in my room the first week of the second term and said, "So you can sing." So I went to audition, and since then we've been making music together.
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to see, doing these things is a chance for me to ask all the questions that I never got around to asking, because a lot of these, you know, when you write with people, you kind of put into a room with somebody and you've got a couple of hours to write a song and whatever. And it's sort of like, you know, you just have to sort of instantly make friends with people. And, you know, so there's a bunch of stuff like this that I don't know. So was there an instant kind of chemistry, you know, because on the outside, as an outsider, you and Jim are quite different, you know. You're sort of very arty, and Jim's kind of knock around, great flow. So I mean, I would have thought you guys were quite different.
He's listening. Sorry, he's listening in the door. Yeah, we are very different. But from the get-go, the music was just, you know, it just clicked really between us, and what we liked to listen to. And in terms of working and writing with people, writing with other people, that was a really hard shift to make, but it was easier, made easier by going to a songwriting workshop in '95 at Huntsham, which was run by Chris Stifford of Squeeze.
Okay.
And it was just the most amazing week. We had the most amazing week, and we wrote, you know, a song a day, and then you got to perform it in the evening. And it was just the most exhilarating week and really validating as a songwriter, and it taught you to write with other people and be thrown into that situation and, you know, face the psychology of that. And we kind of got quite hooked on that, really.
Great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, and was that like how do you, because I've written with other married couples and it can be kind of torture because they bring, sometimes they bring their sort of, you know, outside the writing room relationship into the writing room, and there's like, you feel like you're sort of a marriage counselor or something or other. But
you mean they argue?
No, kind of, yeah. That can be kind of like a bit like, oh, get me out of here. But you guys kind of do that, but you're super fun with it, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean that's nice of you to say. I think we do argue more than our fair share. Some of our favorite people to write with, apart from yourself, of course. We write a lot, have written a lot with Andrew Bajanic and Liz Hooper in LA, and they're married.
Right.
And
they're Australians, aren't they?
Pardon?
Aren't they Australian?
They're lovely and Australian, and well, they're Australian and American now.
Right.
Osmerican they are.
Osmerican.
Yeah. But yeah, and I don't recall them arguing actually. And I don't recall us arguing either with them, but we have argued in front of writers sometimes. Yeah. But you've got to be careful because, like, if you're working with, you know, a lot of kids would come out and work with us, you know, because we had success with young artists like Billy and like Hillary and stuff. So we got a lot of young kids coming out and working with us, and they were very like nervous, and some of them were terrified. So you know, you can't go, you know, shouting with your partner, you know, or anything like that whilst you've got that going on. That's another reason why we had the round table. We had a big round table where everyone was equal, you know, like King Arthur, you know.
Yeah.
Right,
I remember there being one, we were writing one day and you came up with a great line. I mean, I can't remember what it was. And Jim said, I don't get it. And you just like.
Yeah, that's normally what we argue about.
Then you went, that's because you're an idiot. And Jim equally as quickly went, yeah, but I'm your audience. It was just like,
and then I said, no way, the audience are way cleverer than you. The audience will totally get it.
Yeah, that's funny.
But that's not arguing. That's just normal language between us.
Yeah. One thing I've always noticed writing with you is that, you know, I'll be sitting there playing guitar and singing something or whatever, and you always have like a notebook out and you're just like scrawling away at stuff. And I always sort of sit there and think, I wonder what on earth is she writing on the other side of the table, you know? But then, you know, we'll get a good way through the song and you'll kind of ream back through your notebook and go, oh yeah, I had another bit here, you know, and you'll just sort of, is that what you do? Just write stuff to mind in case you have to sort of.
I love sort of flowing with the stream of consciousness when you're in a co-write situation. I mean, I write a lot. I write all the time, and I kind of always have. I mean, Wendy Page. Page isn't my real name. Page is my nickname. It was my nickname at school.
Right.
You know, I just used it because it's simpler than my real name, and you know, I scribble a lot.
That's awesome. Well, I kind of picked that up from you because I do this thing called Song Club where I write a song every week with a bunch of people. Cool. And different people, and we all sort of email each other the songs based on a prompt. For anybody that's watching, you can go to my Patreon site and check that out. But anyway, that's one of the things that I picked up from you is just that stream of consciousness thing of just like getting the idea and running with it and seeing whatever comes out before you sort of start critiquing it and start you know, muscling it into shape.
I was reading about I mean, one of my favorite songwriters, John Lennon, and he did that interview with the Rolling Stone in 2001 where he said, you know, he liked to, you know, just get everything out very quickly, you know, write very quickly and go with the mood of the song that you were writing and what you were trying to say, you know. And I think I sort of feel that in a situation, and it has to be like pretty instinctive and intuitive, you know. I trust that when I'm really gelling with people, I trust that instinct, and I kind of just, you know, want to go with it. Although of course it's collaboration, so you have to, you know, step back and see if other people like it or are on the same page.
There you go. So you've always been like, I've always thought you were a really great lyricist. Where did that kind of love of words come from? Because I imagine that you read a lot, given the books behind you and whatever, you know. Yeah. And again, except for the couple of times where I've actually been to your house or whatever, just, you know, I don't see your bookshelf or whatever, but I always imagined you were a big reader.
Yes, I'm a pretty big reader. Yeah. And I'm getting faster, which is great. I've got a nice amount of libraries now. I've got 3. I got this one in my office. In fact, that's all books. And then one on the top floor. Right. So it's kind of, you know, that heaven to me is being in a library. I love being among books. And I read a lot. But if I'm honest, what I read most is poetry, really. Poetry. Right. And I love reading lyrics, although I'm always getting told that, you know, no one listens to the lyrics. You know, I love them. So, yeah.
Cool. What else was I going to ask you?
Well, you're going to ask me about Disney, I think you said.
I was going to ask you about Disney. So there's a, I thought it was the Princess and the Frog soundtrack, but that was Dr. John. But then there was another record that came out after that you wrote a song for.
Well, the Disney projects that we did Tinkerbell. We wrote 2 songs for Tinkerbell, and we wrote a song for a record called Bayou Boogie, which was inspired by The Princess and the Frog, which Brian Malouf at Disney asked us to do. And that was really good fun. That was with Jennifer Lewis, who played Mama Odie in the film. Right. And she came into the session, and she was Mama Odie. I mean, it was just like there was a cartoon, you know, behind the microphone. It was absolutely fantastic. She did a great job. Yeah.
And you sang background vocals on that too, yeah?
Yeah.
Because you've got such a distinctive voice, you know. I've always loved hearing your voice, you know. And that's how, you know, like your track on Birds, Who's Saving You Tonight, I mean, we had that for a long time, and the track that's actually on the record was a demo that we did that I just sort of been hanging on to for years. My friend Matt Fell always loved it and was like, one of these days I'm going to find an artist for that song. And when I started this project, it was like, oh, perfect. We can actually do something with this track after all this time. But, you know. I
love the film clip that you've done. I think it's really beautiful. The film clip. I don't know.
It came out great. And it's good that we're actually doing this interview now, because a lot of people have written to me and said, oh, that girl in the film clip sings the song, you know, she's so fantastic, you know. And I was like, well, that's not actually her.
It's amazing how it's quite an emotional film clip, isn't it? I mean, you can really feel her unrequited love. You can really sort of feel her pain. And I think that's why you can sort of be persuaded that she's actually singing, but she's not.
Right. Yeah.
Nice bit of filming there, Sam.
Well, I didn't actually film it. I found some sort of license-free footage online during COVID. One of my projects was to sort of, you know, I was like, I'm going to have a go at doing some video editing, and I found that footage, and it just seemed to kind of be perfect. Like you said, it sort of captured that, you know, unrequited love thing, and you know, and then having the sort of other girl and the other guy sort of sketching her and whatever, it just seemed to work perfectly together, you know. So I was really proud of how that came out. It seemed to capture the mood, you know.
I think all the clips you've done for Birds are really cool.
Well, yeah, thanks. That's good to hear. I've got a couple of good friends of mine in Australia that are really great music video editors, and I rough these things together and send them to them and say, what do you think? And they go, the track sounds really good. You know? They're encouraging, but also it's a bit like, yeah, okay, yeah, I get it. I'll go back to the drawing board and keep working a little harder.
No, it's really impressive what you've done in lockdown, I must say.
Well, thank you. So how did the Billy Piper stuff come out? Because you wrote Honey to the Bee,
Yeah.
Big hit kind of all around the world, and Because We Want To. How did that come about?
We were approached by Virgin Records, the Innocent label. Said they'd found this amazing girl, and she was very young, and they wanted us to do a demo of a song that she liked. And she came to us, and she was just, just lovely. And we did Get Out, I think, R. Kelly's Get Out. And or was it? I can't remember the artist now, but and she has this really great tone in her voice, a really lovely sound. And then I got flu, and I wrote Honey to the Bee whilst I was sick in bed. Because there was quite a lot of pressure about writing a single,
Right.
And I just had this idea in my head, me for you, you for me, honey to the bee, that's me for you, you for, but I just had this thing buzzing around, and then there was a song.
And where did you come up with the line "Buzz me up to heaven"?
Yeah, buzz me up to heaven, baby. Yeah. It's just about that thing about when, well, sometimes we do get lovely summer days here in Britain and in England, and you might be lying under a tree looking up, and the sun's coming through the leaves, and it's just that wonderful feeling of that that dreaming feeling. That's what I was trying to get in the song, really.
Right. Awesome.
Of missing someone.
Right. And did that open the door to like the Hilary Duff things and all the other stuff that sort of flowed on after that?
Yeah, we got a management interest from LA on the strength of our success in the UK. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And Hilary, of course. I mean, Hilary, that project came about because of Charlie Midnight, who's someone who we collaborate with an awful lot in LA. He's just written a book, actually, which is absolutely superb. Can do a bit of plug in here now. Deserves got nothing to do with it. By Charlie Midnight. 5 elements that will help you survive your emotional journey to success. Talking crap, CRAPP, with Charlie Midnight. It's really, really good. Actually, brilliant. If you're a creative person, or not just if you're a songwriter or you're in music, but if you're a creative person and what you do depends on trying to not please others, but trying to get accepted by others, it's a very useful book for building confidence. It's really good story, and it's his story. I hear his voice in it. It's really yeah. So we worked a lot with him, and we wrote a musical with him, which took 7 years. We worked a lot with him, and he brought Hilary to us, and we co-wrote everything with him, and yeah. Cool.
And then because you were doing some acting classes as well.
Yes, yeah. So I run around with the Theatricum Botanicum for 3 seasons. Yeah, I did some Shakespeare over there, which was a lot of fun. In Topanga Canyon in LA, they do actually do Shakespeare in LA. People were incredulous here when I would tell them, they do Shakespeare. And yeah, that's an amazing company. It's run by Ellen Gear, and I hope they're all right. I mean, I know that the pandemic has really hit all of us really hard, and especially musicians and actors and stuff. Well, everybody obviously, but yeah, I hope they're okay. And they seem to be putting on productions, so that's good.
Great.
Yeah.
So how you moved back to the UK?
Yeah.
How long were you in LA for?
15 years. 15 years. Yeah.
And you just had enough, or?
Well, when we went out there, I don't think either of us thought we'd be there that long. Although, you know, I've fallen really hard for the city. So, you know, and the more sort of friends you make, and, you know, it's such a great place to live. But no, I think we decided we decided to come back, and we always kind of intended to come back. I mean, that's a good question to throw back at you. I mean, you know, what are you? I mean, what are you going to do? You're sort of in love with a beautiful American lady, and, you know, you've got a family there now. Are you going to go back to Australia?
You know, never say never, but who knows? You know.
Yeah. It's really tricky because, like, the move was kind of eased for us by doing a year of travel, and I'm really glad we did, because we never got the chance to. When we left university, we never traveled really. We went straight up to London, you know, and started slamming stuff with the band and everything, and, you know, so we traveled for a year, and that was fantastic. Which is also kind of a source of grief, because it's really hard to travel now. You know, I really wanted to go around and do all that now. But the plot was to get this house, gut it, and start from scratch, which is what we did with it. And that took far more time than we thought it would.
Right.
I'll never do that again.
Never again.
Never. But it's interesting, because since I've moved back, that otherness that you always feel, that I always used to feel when I lived in LA, you know, not being an American person, you know, being the token Brit, you know, and that's gone, and that's kind of nice, you know. I kind of like that. I sort of really feel at home here, which is good. You
don't have to say tomato, you know, 3 times when you're ordering a sandwich.
Oh, Jim, do come in, darling.
Yeah, come on, I think the world needs to meet Jim.
Come on in. This is Jim. Well, Jim can say tomato very well.
Right.
Yeah, there he goes. In fact, when we used to order stuff, that was the only way. Here he is.
Good evening.
Hello, Jim. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Hey, Sam. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Were your ears burning? Did you?
No, my glass was empty, so.
Oh, what have you got there? Oh, no,
put
it on Marlo Thomas, not on Hugh Laurie. Oh.
It is Saturday night there, after all. You should be having.
It is, yes. It's Saturday night, 9 o'clock, for God's sake. Match of the day will be on soon.
Well, when I spoke to you yesterday, you were having a drink too, but I'm not going to sort of draw any kind of conclusions about that.
Well, that was the evening as well.
Right.
Yeah, you know, once the sun is down.
How you doing, Sam?
I'm doing good. It's good to see you guys. You know, I didn't sort of say it enough, but, you know, you guys are some of my favorite people to write with. You know, it's always, we've had such a good time over the years writing songs.
We certainly have.
You know, hanging out and whatever. So it's.
Well, I hope there's more. I hope there's more to come.
I mean, more
we've
songs.
all been a little bit stuck for the last 2 years now, but you know, we'll see. That'll unbung.
Yeah.
Who says unbung?
I just said unbung. Anyway, go on. Don't let me interrupt.
No,
is that a nautical term?
What? It could be a nautical term, yes.
Right.
It is a nautical term, isn't it? Yeah.
Unbung, yes.
Yeah.
It's very musical, actually.
Yeah, it's when you're emptying the boat of water, which I did this morning, in fact.
Yeah, because you guys have moved to the seaside.
We do. We live right by the sea here, which is really great.
It's amazing.
That's been one thing that's enabled us not to go completely mad.
Not to kill each other.
Is just being by the sea. And I mean, you're by the sea in Los Angeles. You know, the sea's all around there, and it's great. But yeah, it's been really nice living by the sea and just being able to go out and walk on the beach.
Yeah.
And stuff. Yeah.
Because you were, even in LA, you were a member of a boat club or something over there, weren't you?
Yeah, I've been known to fiddle about in boats.
Yeah.
Any day spent mucking about on the water is a good day. I think it was Rudyard Kipling.
Rudyard Kipling.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, look how arty he is. He's like,
You see, you didn't even know.
Am I arty or what?
I was just wondering if we should start some merch for the record.
Birds merch. Yeah.
Yeah, birds merch.
Everybody keeps telling me that, hey, when you're doing these things, you got to plug the record more. So yeah, so we need merch and we need all of that stuff, so we can buy you a boat.
Yeah, he definitely needs a bigger boat. His boat's really small.
One always needs a bigger boat.
That's a nautical reference too, isn't it?
Yeah, I expect so.
Yeah.
So are you like writing a song every day with this Patreon thing?
Every week I write a new song. My friend Rachel Loy started this song club, and she would send out a prompt every week. It might be a word or a phrase or whatever, and the sort of aim was to write a song, within a week, and you sort of reply all to the email, and so everybody gets to hear the songs, and then you sort of say, hey, that was a really great line, or that sucked, or whatever. No, there's no but I'd sort of been doing that for about a year, and then I was like, well, these songs, every week I'm writing a new song, so I need somewhere to put them. I wasn't going to make an album of all of them, but every week I upload them to my Patreon page. And some weeks it's just me, just playing acoustic guitar, singing it into a mic, and that's it. And then other weeks, if I have a little more time, I do like a full kind of production demo of it. It just depends on, how much time I have, So I work pretty quick and whatever. And it's super fun. I should get you guys involved.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
It's kind of, but it's not, I mean, people always say to me, I don't know that I could do a song a week, but living in Nashville.
I was going to say, how come it takes you a week?
Yeah. I've sat with you and you've done 4 in one day.
Exactly. I went out for a sandwich and you came back and you'd done a god.
We mentioned that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like
the
I said,
last section we did, I think we wrote, 6, 7 songs?
I think we wrote 6 songs in a weekend, which was pretty great.
Good weekend.
Yeah, it was a very good weekend. It doesn't always happen like that, but we were on a roll,
Sure.
Yeah. We started saying, how do we get Jim out of? Can we send him out to get donuts?
It was a Subway roll, I think.
Yeah.
It was.
About 6-incher.
Yeah.
Quick, let's finish the song. They'll never know.
Yeah, he'll never
So
know. So yeah, that's the kind of whole premise, behind that, and it's fun. It can be kind of, what it's like writing songs. Sometimes it's like, will I ever write another song ever again? And so sometimes, they're due Thursday night, and sometimes I'll be sitting there Thursday night going, I don't have any idea about what I'm going to write about, and then 2 hours later you have something, and you're like, mate, snuck it through again,
Well, isn't there that story about John Lennon where he couldn't think of anything, and he was like lying on the floor, and he said, "I'm nowhere, man."
It's one of those irritating stories. It's like, and the next thing you know, he wrote Yesterday.
Well,
it's
you
like,
don't know where, man.
I know, but you know what I mean. Yeah. It's like one of those stories where, and then the next minute, honky tonk woman. It's like, really?
Really?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. So who knows? Next time, honky tonk woman.
Yeah.
A new take on it or something.
With that guitar behind you, perhaps.
Yeah. Well,
that actually work?
No, it's.
Oh dear.
It's seen better days, but given my current passion for restoring guitars, next time we speak, it might not be there. It might be downstairs in the garage. Being worked on and given new life. But I think that one might be well beyond,
Oh yeah, it looks good.
It's cool, black and white. Yeah. Cool.
I found that in a flea market in North Rocks where I grew up. And yeah. Well, I've got to go to a wedding.
Oh, nice.
Really?
What are you wearing?
Again?
I don't know. I'm not going to wear this. I was downstairs playing with Poppy before, and I was like, "Oh, that's the time. I better go and put a shirt on." So, you know.
Is it sunny? Is it sunny there?
No, it's raining today. It's rained for a couple of days, so it's you know, and it's the fall, so it's kind of. I always like to get, you know, the fall's good here because you can kind of rug up a little bit, but it's not it's not kind of freezing, so it's good.
Cool.
Yeah, our friend Bill, who lives in Nashville, he comes out in the fall. He hates the summer.
Yeah,
he
hibernates in the summer and comes out in the fall and winter.
Yeah, the summer can be brutal here, hot, humid, and you know, not fun. Well,
we look forward to coming seeing it again.
We'll be coming over to see you soon.
Do it.
You're on our hit list.
Yeah, set aside a couple of days to hang out and write or whatever. There's boat clubs here too, Jim.
I've actually been on a boat in Nashville, but I went out in a rubber ring.
Yeah.
A black rubber ring, and it melted all around me, and I got black rubber all over me.
Pierce Lake, was it?
Percy Priest Lake.
Was it? Yeah, all right, yeah. That's right, yeah.
Pierce Lake.
It was a lake. It was a boat.
Yeah, that was a tire.
Well, thanks again for singing on the Birds record, which you can buy from my website or, you know, listen to on any of the stealing platforms, and you can, you know, check out. You don't have a website, do you?
Not yet. Not yet. No, but I am.
The world is our website.
The World Wide Web is.
I'm going to have one very soon. I'm getting some help from some younger quarters.
Right. There you go. Well, thanks again for singing on the record and being awesome and joining us for this little chat.
It's been wonderful.
It's a pleasure to be awesome.
All right. Well, let's talk soon, and let me know when you're heading over here.
Okay. Have a lovely wedding.
See you soon.
Bye.
Cheers.